Welcome to Promis. I'm Robert Lefever, I'm the director of the Promis Recovery Centre. Over the last 20 years we've treated something over 4,000 people with various forms of addictive or compulsive behaviour. The big three are alcoholism, drug addiction and eating disorders, but obviously we treat the patients and very often they have many different addictions at the same time. So we've got experience of treating all sorts of things, and what we hope in these talks is to be able to give you an insight into what we do and how we help people to get better. Without family support, sometimes people here have a very, very difficult time because they're going back into a using environment. Mum's on the tranquilizers and antidepressants, Dad's pissed, and you're still living at home, and you're trying to get clean from your drug addiction. How are you going to do it in that environment? You're in here with an eating disorder, and you go home to your husband, and he says, you always were fat, and you're always going to be fat. He doesn't want to know. He thinks it's pathetic, and he resents having paid for you to come here. You could have gone to a farm or something and done a bit of work for your life and taken a bit of healthy exercise. People can be so critical to the people they love. And the reason they're like that is because they've been trying to change them. We try to change them, and they don't change. Well, okay, I'm going to make a suggestion. Would you like to volunteer to have an appendicitis? Bottom right.
No.
Clutch and say, ow.
No. Ow.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try a little love. Everybody say, ah. Do you think that's going to help with appendicitis? Okay, we're going to try a bit of education. What you've got is probably some sort of obstruction in the lower bowel, in the bottom end of the small bowel, that's obstructing the lumen of the appendix. You getting better?
Not really, no.
Oh. Okay, we're going to punish you. Give her a smack. Did it work? Well, it doesn't work for addiction either. Love, education and punishment do not work for addiction. Let me say it again. The three things that we all try, love, education and punishment, do not work for addiction. That's a bit of a shock, isn't it, when we realise that the things we've really tried most just don't work. Well, that's the evidence. It doesn't work. I'm not saying that love is bad, education is bad, punishment is inappropriate. I'm just saying it doesn't work. It doesn't work for appendix, it doesn't work for addiction. What we've got to do is to focus on what does work. And the three things that work are love, education and punishment. But it's a different form of love. The love that gets us better is not the love that somebody has for us, it's the love that we have for someone else. Meg and I love our son Robin. It did not stop him being an addict, and it did not help him with his addiction. What helped him was when he loved somebody else, when he loved another addict, when he took his mind off himself and reached out to somebody else. That's what helps addicts. It's that love, their own love, given freely to somebody else, that helps them. The education is not the education about drugs. Plod will say, this is a bit of Moroccan black. You think the pupils don't know that? They know it better than Plod. They've been using it. Well, actually, nowadays, probably Plod has as well, but that's different, isn't it? That sort of education doesn't work. And you see GPs' offices, they're festooned in posters about what the children should do. This is dangerous, that's dangerous. And all that. The children know that, but it doesn't stop them doing it. We had a chap here who's just discharged himself from treatment. And he said his wife is taking the children away on holiday, therefore he must be at home to make sure that the house is okay. Secondly, he wants to check that he's still got a job. And thirdly, he's got to check in with his probation officer. And therefore, he had to go. The reason that he was here was because his wife was so fed up with him, she'd actually put an exclusion order on the home. That's why he was on probation. And that's why he's about to lose his job. So he's run away from the place that would have the capacity to get him better because he was frightened and wanted a drink, because it's the only way he knows of how to deal with his feelings. He's gone straight out of the place that could help him into total disaster. He's going to go straight home, he's going to get drunk, he's going to get arrested. I imagine he's in the cells right now. Now that's an illness and a tragedy, that somebody would be so single-minded in the pursuit of alcohol that he would be so totally oblivious to what the consequences of his behavior are going to be. But he doesn't see it. It's not there. Now that is an illness. And it's a terrible condition where we don't see the consequences of our behavior. We have the denial. This is not my hand, it's not in front of my face. That's a fearful, frightening illness that we don't even see we've got it. And that is what is particularly frightening about illness, about addiction. So, having the family support makes a tremendous difference. When families understand what we're really up against, they're not trying to change us, they're just accepting us the way we are. But, and hear this, they are giving us the consequences of our behavior. Meg has told me, if I go gambling again, she is off. We lost our house once. She is not prepared to go through that experience again. And she said, if you go back on the green bays, you walk. And I think that's fine. Robin, my son, is on the staff here. He has a contract, same as any of the other staff. If you drink, you're out. He's well paid, because I have to pay the head of the organisation well, because if I didn't pay Robin well, what's going to happen if Robin leaves? I've got to find the money to pay somebody else. And so I pay him exactly the same as anybody else in that job would get. That's how to run a business properly. But if he drinks or uses drugs again, out. He gets the consequences of his behaviour. It doesn't mean I say I don't love him. Of course I love him. But I'm going to give him the consequence of his behaviour. I think that's the way we have to behave with addicts.